If you want to be my friend, you had better go and get a pen. Maybe we can keep in touch
Like we did in the old days.
Did in the old days, it wasn't so long ago. And I wish you well.
One more time.
Oh, sign your pen, pal.
Do you think we re-racked
With an S,
that?
with an S,
Would
with
you
an S?
know it a little bit better if we re-racked it?
No.
Okay.
Let's try one more
Re-rack it.
time.
Here we go.
And
Here
here we go.
Here we go.
If you want to be my friend, you had better go and get a pen.
Just on our own.
Keep in touch.
Like when?
Like when it did in the old days. Wasn't so hard to go.
Oh, and I wish you well. I got you, Dierdre. Oh, big finish, big finish. Sign your pen, pal.
Sign your pen pals.
With an S, with an S, with an S.
Even that at the end, you
That's a
took it
show.
another. You
That's
went
a
up.
show.
I'm actually like my top lip has sweat on it. That feels like a horrible
Deirdre.
SNL sketch. Like I'm like
That would be a great sketch.
so
If
Sing it! We're like crazy. You sing it and you do it right.
yes.
Deirdre,
People
if
are
you ever
screaming.
host SNL, you have to pitch, and they'll love you for this even if you don't do it, where you go, I want you guys to have a song that you all know, and I
don't-
in real time, live, won't know it, and I have, the bit is, I'm in chorus, and I did not learn the song.
That's really good.
And tell everyone, like how Chappelle just did the thing where he
And
was
tell
like,
him
I
that
didn't want to be in
Daniel
the sketch.
thought of it.
Yeah, and then like say I brought in this guy, he's gonna help write when I'm here. It doesn't have to be Rory, it should be me. But like,
Yeah, he's right.
But wait,
that
didn't
would be
so
such a
supportive
fun-
of Daniel.
Fred
He's
Armisen
right.
and Kristen Wiig had that great thing where they would be like, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah, 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 yeah.
snowing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh, that's true.
The one I'm thinking of. But this is a good. This is a sketch. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
a bit.
You did great.
Well,
You did so great. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know by now, we are joined today by Dierdre Friel, and she plays Greta on the hit television show. Do you say TV show? Streaming show.
Streaming.
You watch it on your TV.
Apple
or your
TV
screen.
Plus's Physical.
With Rory Scovel.
Dierdre here's been on Broadway, and I just want that to be known. If you play it back and you say she doesn't know the words, doesn't make her less of a professional singer.
Not at all.
We threw a curveball at
That
her
was like
face.
kind of a low key dig.
At her
Like
face.
a little bit of like.
And
Look,
we do have a new thing where you
because she can't learn songs instantly, which I know all of us can.
right.
But when she does learn them, she sings them better than we do.
But it's good for her because 2 weeks ago, this is the third episode, we've started a thing where you get to pick one song from Carousel and you have to
From
sing.
Carousel.
Spring is bustling out. Okay.
That's a good. That's June. It's June. June is.
June, that's what it is. Yeah,
That's a great. Yeah.
My boy Bill. Okay. Which is the weirdest.
Are you
Also,
guys talking a language I don't understand? What
Oh,
do you know?
Carousel- you
I
don't
don't
know
know. I don't know.
Carousel,
anything.
one of the most
Is it culture?
problematic
You're talking about
lines
culture?
in the one of the most problematic lines of dialogue in the history of musicals, or I mean all theater. She says, "Mama, is it possible to love someone so much it doesn't hurt when they hit you?"
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's like a whole
What's the answer?
storyline
And
about
what
that.
was the answer?
What do
And
you
a
think?
song. There's a whole song. Yes. Right.
Yes.
The mom sings her a song about like
About loving them enough.
love
Do you guys
them
think
enough.
less of me because I don't know what we're talking about?
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you.
Teardrop.
No.
Hey, something I really did want to start doing.
Okay.
We get things sent to us by our pen pals, and sometimes they're not letters. They're just like, "Hey, thought you guys would love this," and we have a dream of someday maybe incorporating those things PTI style.
Yeah.
Google
Speed
PTI.
episode.
Yes. Okay. I have two things I want to say thank you for because
Okay.
we need to do this. And
Yes.
these are
Yes.
This was in October. Greg, one of our pen pals, sent us guitar picks.
Is his foot kind of in your space?
No, no,
you
no,
you
no,
tell
no.
him. He
No,
wears a size
I'm good.
14. You tell him. He wears a size 14.
Foot
All
shame
right,
me.
relax. Not. Oh God, no.
And then
Guitar picks are so nice.
fitting that I'm wearing this, we got an old RTHS Rochelle.
Township.
School.
High school.
THS.
Yes.
HS.
Suze from Three Best Bakery sent me an old, from the 40s or 50s postcard of RTHS.
Yes.
And I want to frame it, and someday we'll incorporate it in the office. So that's
Yeah.
a couple things I wanted to say.
That's so great.
Thank you for. Yeah, people like our pen pals send us also hey, here's a little gift.
Yeah.
And I dig it.
And Thanksgiving
nice that
is
they do
right around the corner, I assume. I don't know. We don't know when
turkeys
this
are out
drops.
everywhere.
We just had Thanksgiving.
No, this is probably
We
the
just
first week of
had it.
December.
This
right?
is we just
The end
had.
of December?
No, it's November 30th.
We just had Thanksgiving. We
Thanksgiving.
just had it.
Still,
Oh, remember
so
that?
full.
I am full. I can't
Yeah,
believe
I
it.
am stuffed.
Woo!
Want to go?
I'm so over turkey. I don't want to go down this road,
What?
but I'm over turkey.
I
I don't want to
feel
go
the
down
same
this
way.
road.
I'm not at all.
Mike
Yes, you
loves
do.
No, I'm
turkey.
not.
I'm
No.
reeling you in.
No,
oh,
I'll
you're
go
not
down
over
the
it.
road. I'm just not over it. In fact, I've gotten more into the dark meat than I used to be.
I prefer dark meat,
Interesting.
but,
Yeah.
but I'm with you. I'll skip a turkey. My mom did one year. She did Cornish game hens.
I'm into it.
It was fun. And everyone had your own little tiny
Yeah.
chicken. Your
Duck.
own
What
little-
about duck?
ducks?
Mix it up.
Rich. Heavy.
Some people do
What do you
prime
do at
rib.
Christmas?
Ham. That's a ham day.
We're Italian, so at Christmas I'm
Spaghetti.
Italian. So
Spaghetti.
On Christmas,
I'm
we're Italian.
New Year's I'm German.
What do you?
We do,
What's Xmas?
Italian families, you do it's big Christmas Eve, so you do like it's called the Feast of the Seven Fishes. You eat,
But
for
that's
like 8
every
hours.
weekend in a traditional Italian home.
No,
those
you eat
seven
for like
fishes,
8
dude.
hours. You eat like
That's
all day.
every Sunday in a traditional Italian home.
And
Are
you
you
know
really
what? That's
do
actually
you guys
fair.
really do seven different types
So
of fishes?
we don't do the actual the seven fishes. It all represents it's all these Catholic symbolisms and stuff. So we don't do that. We just eat a crap ton of fish.
Where are you
like-
from?
So that part of the family's from Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn,
Gotcha.
and I grew up in Jersey.
I dated a Jersey girl, and I went to her family for Christmas.
Jennifer
and we went to like
Lopez.
3 or 4 different ones, right? She lived on a nice block. And every place we went
Nice.
had meatballs. And it was, that is not at all like a Midwestern. I'm sure there's some people that do, but we never experienced that at all in Rochelle. And
Yeah.
everybody in Jersey, it was like part of their.
The meatball thing?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
You just have meatballs.
In different
Everybody's got
houses?
meatballs.
Yes.
Yeah. Toothpick
Rochelle,
meatballs.
you go house to house, and they all have
Toothpick
chewing
meatballs.
tobacco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you're from the Midwest? Where you're from the Midwest? Where's your state?
Rochelle, Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah. Okay, so you do 7 fishes. What do you do? You're ham. Thanksgiving ham? Or
No.
Christmas ham, I mean?
So Christmas 2 years in a row, I've done
Bolognese.
No, I've done the
Wellington.
beef Wellington.
That's a new-
So the first year I did it as one long beef Wellington, and then the second year I did individual ones. I got to say the long one was more fun and a lot easier, and I think cooked better. Individual ones I think were a little bit raw. It's tough to do a beef Wellington, but I got to say if you're ever at a
Wow.
A
restaurant
little horseradish. Oh
and
my
they do
God,
a
dude.
beef Wellington, get that beef. We
Yeah,
did.
I was just gonna
get
say, you
that
gotta-
beef Wellington because it's so fucking good. It's
Yeah.
good. It's fun to make. We're not. I just did it 2 Christmases in a row, so we're
Wow,
not doing it
that's
this Christmas.
impressive.
But I think we are going to try to mix it up and do something different. Like, I'm not against ham. I just am genuinely over turkey.
We're about to go to
Can't
Houston.
do it for Thanksgiving.
We should try,
We didn't do it. I know it's past. I mean, that was like a week ago.
We should try and carve out 1 or 2. Let's go find a crazy dinner place.
Yeah.
Right?
And do the escape room that Lissa got us the gift for that we will never do because we can't get our lives together.
I really want to do an
tried.
escape room.
Lissa got us an escape room.
Oh, they're jerks. Why didn't they do your gift?
Well, because it's a trap.
haven't- yeah.
It's
It's
not
a
a real
trap.
place, and she put it together, and it's
it
very
takes-
Saw oriented.
It
Daniel and I are
takes,
smarter than that.
it takes them 2 to 3 years to accomplish anything. So
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah,
do the
that's true.
escape room in
Yeah.
like 2025.
And I
Also,
just-
what she's not saying is the gift certificate was written in crayon. And it was just
wouldn't
you,
even
and it's,
know.
Daniel,
and
and
it's
Rory.
crayon
wouldn't
and
even
also
know.
cut out
Little
letters
blood.
from a magazine. We're like, Lissa, this doesn't seem like.
Blood on the
Right.
corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does take us a while. But
Our
we're
listeners
very
who
enthusiastic.
are loyal listeners who have been with us for 4 years, it is such a select group of people that have forgiven the fact that anything we promise we will do,
You don't
but
do.
it will take us
Yeah,
3
we'll do
years.
it.
So
Yeah, yeah.
honestly,
You do
coming
do it, but
up,
it
and
just
this is
takes
kind of
2
exciting,
seasons.
coming up next year is stuff we promised the second year. And that's pretty cool.
if that happens.
If we even get to that.
Right.
With
But
our
one
first
thing-
hashtag is subject to change for a reason because
Right.
hey, maybe we do it.
Right.
Wow.
Maybe we don't.
The only thing we never dropped the ball on, secrets.
That's
But
right.
That's not for people to
That's
know
a
about.
different episode.
Okay.
Okay.
Different show.
Should we
altogether.
go? Let's go.
Let's go to the letters! Deirdre, watch out!
Why did
Keep
I
it going,
get
keep it going.
scared? It's
Juggle
a
it.
piece of paper, and I was like dodging it like it was gonna
Dude,
hurt me.
someday
Freaking Pele over here.
we should have the letters written on a balloon, and then the balloons drop, and we can really bounce them around before we catch them.
Subject to change.
Okay.
Okay. Wait,
Are you going first? or
Honestly,
am
we're probably going to do that in 6 years. That's a great idea. Lissa, write that down so we do that in 2029.
Just so you guys know, off camera, she's like literally shaking her head no.
That
No,
is
she
not
actually,
true.
Lissa's not in the room. She left
She's
about
not
10
here
minutes
yet.
ago.
She's not even here.
Lissa and Chad always walk out. We're never talking to anyone over there.
Are you going first or am I?
Who wants to go first?
I don't know.
You pick who you want to read.
Daniel.
Okay. Dang it.
Good luck.
Hi. I am a high.
Hi. Hi. Oh, you're reading. Sorry. Go ahead.
I am a high school teacher in a department of.
Can I just say how hi? It just starts with hi, and I think it's so
Well, we know
beautifully
why.
simple.
Yeah, but we know
Hi.
why. Because if they write what they wanted to write, hi Daniel and Rory, you would throw a big fit.
I would.
Right.
And they think they can avoid that fit by not writing it. Wrong.
Oh, my God,
I'm
you-
insulted that no one was chosen.
You can't even let him read one sentence of the letter.
When we look back, who interrupted this? The writer or me?
Right. Them.
Hi.
Oh my
Hi.
God, this is
Hi.
hilarious.
I am a high school teacher.
Just say it for a second. Hi.
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 Now, you can go a lot of ways
Hi.
with hi.
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 That you
Hi.
could probably show, like, if this was a acting class in college, they're like, all right, guys, you each have an emotion written down, and you're only allowed to say hi to each other. Just mill about the space.
So I had one of my lines last night when I was shooting was hi. And I actually did to myself, how many different ways can I? Because it was like this intimidating lead. So I was like, hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
And like I was doing all
Hi.
the different, like I was like, how can you do hi? You know,
And then the hi.
hi.
Yeah.
Hi. How are you?
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay, ready?
Hi.
Hi.
Do you think other languages they hear us say hi and they're like, that sounds so weird to them? Like if you're Chinese, are you like, and you don't
Japanese,
speak
that
any
means yes.
English, you're like, hi. They're like, it sounds so weird that that's their hello.
No, in Japanese, it's yes. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah.
It feels like a T on
Hi.
on their pronunciation. Hi.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I am a high school teacher in a department of 2. The other teacher this year is brand new. No matter who you are, the first year of teaching is so hard. You have so much to learn, and it can make anyone very anxious, mad, and stressed. This new teacher is very open about her mental health. Right off the bat, she told me her struggles with anxiety and depression, and while I appreciate her openness, I feel like every day during my prep period, she is coming to me to talk about how she cries every morning, isn't sleeping, having panic attacks, etc. I normally engage, but it is really starting to wear on me, taking away from my time and my own emotional capacity. I will give her credit. It is not keeping her from doing her job. She is still coming into work every day. I think her telling me all this stuff is just her way of working through it. I knew going into this year that I would have to invest time into my new colleague, but I thought to help with curriculum design or assignments, not therapy. I know that we are bordering on this becoming unprofessional behavior, and I want to subtly shift back to a more professional relationship. At what point do you think a colleague should be supportive, or should colleagues only discuss work at work? Lisa, did you write this? P.S. We are chaperoning a trip abroad with students over spring break. She has never been out of the country, so I'm pretty worried I'm going to turn into her mom. Any advice on how to deal with this during the trip so that not all my attention is given to this other chaperone when it should be given to the students? Can I leave her alone if she is having a panic attack? Thanks, Miss Honey. Bing, bong,
Oh,
boom,
so
boom,
cute,
boom.
Miss Honey. Miss Honey
Still
from
there?
Matilda.
Rory's still there.
Hi.
Wait,
He didn't listen to any of the letter. He has no advice. He's just gonna keep going. Hi.
I am a first-year high school. Okay. Wow.
any initial thoughts from either of you?
I just love
Okay.
the question, can I leave her alone if she is having a panic attack? In its own, with zero context, is just, you're
Well,
like,
yeah,
I
but
don't.
then when you have the good fences make good neighbors. You gotta have good. You have to have good boundaries for yourself.
Sure,
Yeah.
but
All right, well, that's it.
that's my.
The end.
But
No.
how do you go back
No.
to that, Deirdre? How do you go back to that when you start out being like, we don't need a fence?
You
Oh,
have-
you think she started fenceless?
Well, she said
She started.
You were
fencing.
really-
And now she's
Where were you?
defenseless.
Oh my God! Can we put? Can
You're
you put
listening
it?
to
Put
Pen
it.
Pals
Put the
on
groan
Light
in
Rock
post.
98.9.
I think you have. I think you can either have a frank conversation with the person or
Little
like a
F2F,
kind
little
conversation.
face-to-face. Little
Yeah.
face-to-face.
Because better than texting or emailing because tone can get misconstrued. Or you just start being busy. Like you just start not being so available.
right.
Am I
Yeah,
a
Or-
jerk?
No,
Everyone's gonna think I'm
you're
a jerk.
not a
No, no,
jerk.
no.
I think that's the way. I think that's right.
Or do you get into the mud with them and you start saying you have so many problems that then they're like, well, I can't. They're dealing with
I
a
think you
lot.
say you killed somebody and you go.
You give them a gift certificate to a Saw-themed.
If you just go, have you
escape
ever
room.
seen I Know What You Did Last Summer? And they're like, yeah, I think so. And you're like, I was one of those kids, but in real life.
Have either one of you taught?
Yes,
You
for a
did?
long time. Yeah.
What did you
What?
teach?
Oh God, I name it. A lot of things. I
Really?
taught preschool.
Fencing.
I taught. No, not. I shouldn't have said name it. God damn it. Ice skate. Professional
Ice
ice
skating.
skating.
Right.
I was
Competitive
a-
cornhole.
Professional golf.
Never mind. I taught mostly theater-related subjects, but I've taught like from all the way from the preschool to the college level, and in
And
different in Japan. Different
Do
countries.
you identify with any of these emotions that someone's saying, especially
Yeah,
first year?
The resume you
Yes.
just described in less than 10 seconds far surpasses the combination of Daniel and I's resumes.
Now,
I was a federal agent. So.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about that. Well, I was a
that true?
secretary at one point
Jesus
for a. Well, no one's listening. No.
Okay. So
Hi.
so you identify with all of that anxiety and that stress.
yes,
and
teaching first year, it is really hard in a new
Right.
environment. Yeah.
And I think that this is the problem, right? On your, you want to get along with everyone on your first day. This has always been my rule, but you don't want to make friends because you don't know anybody yet. And I think that this person is nice, and so she allowed the door for friendship on day
Well, they're
one
co-teaching
before
a
realizing
class.
this was but I think she was like, anything you ever need to talk about, you're going to go through a lot of things are going to come up, it's going to be stressful, you just come to me.
Maybe. There
And I-
also is a world where this other person just unpacked it and did not get that invitation.
Fair, but I think they're not co-teaching class. Aren't they co-teachers in a department? So
They-
she's
I'm
helping
a school
her.
teacher in a department of 2.
So
Yes.
she's helping her plan curriculum. So
Oh, they're not co-teaching one class.
I
no,
think,
they're-
right?
No, I would assume what you're saying
So
is 2.
she can say, like, okay, I've helped you now.
Yeah.
Like, I've helped you plan curriculum. And
I feel like every day during my prep period, she's coming to me to talk about how she cries every morning, isn't sleeping, having panic attacks. Now, here's the deal, and this is going to sound cliche. 1, because it gets said a lot. 2, I don't think it gets said enough. And 3, we've said it a lot. And that is...
I don't remember one. What was the first one?
And that is, you need to start professionally in both ways, from you and where she's going, professionally telling her to go to therapy.
Yeah.
fair.
Because
Totally fair.
she's coming to you in some capacity. I'm sure it's for advice, like how do you
Yeah.
deal with whatever, right? And I'm sure from what I'm gleaning, and we only go off what we have, she's fine with giving that. Like, oh, if a teacher says to you blank, you're going to want to say this.
Yeah.
That's better to do over email versus a call. You don't need to bring a teacher, like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think what's
you're
happening
making
is-
a good point because if anyone knows about it not being a great idea to reach out to non-professionals about therapy,
It's us. It's us.
It's
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Do people ask you guys about therapy all the time?
No, we just get letters like this and
Oh,
be
and
like,
then
"What do
you-
you think?" And we're like, "We are not."
We are not
I always say we
licensed.
aren't professionals, but we give a shit, and we can go that far.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, and I would say that if I was this veteran teacher, to this rookie teacher, I would say, "Hey," and I would almost
Hi.
put it on me. Yeah, I would go, "Hi." See how that one's what's up?
That was a nice soft one.
You're
That,
right.
was
That
very,
felt
was
really warm.
a soft land.
That was like a
That
nice.
nice.
Here's
Yeah,
your
yeah.
tea, no caffeine.
Yeah.
Here's your tea, no
Yeah.
caffeine. It was,
Not on the leg, but on the chair.
it's, a
Yeah.
little,
Hi.
it's a little herbal tea. Yeah,
Hi.
yeah, yeah.
Hi. You seem to be going through what I went through, and obviously, everything you need to come from me for be like, where does this go? How do you file that? What is end of year like? I want to keep doing that for you. But what I'm hearing, and I'm only saying this because I went through the same thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a lie.
Correct.
But
But what I'm hearing is,
with the,
I know what you
with
did
the,
last summer.
the sleep and the anxiety and the tears, right? And we all have tears. What I'm hearing is you probably would benefit from what I did, and I really think you should go to therapy.
Therapy.
It's not because I don't care, I do, but it's because seeing you where I was, that was the best thing for me. Because what she seems to
I think
be
that's a
getting
smart play.
It really is.
is a sounding wall. Like this woman knows she can come and dump all of that emotion and that stress
And
and
it's
that
also
fear.
it's during a prep period,
the
right?
other
Which
teacher.
means it's not like 10 minutes in the morning. It's like a 40-minute.
Yeah.
So the other good phrase to use is, I'm so sorry because I know you are stressing, or I'm so sorry you're
Yeah.
having a lot of feelings right now.
Yeah.
I have 20 minutes to get this done before class. I'm so sorry to cut you off, but you can also
Right.
gently say, I can't talk right now. I have to do my work.
Yeah.
Right.
And invest in a really good pair of headphones over the ear so they're
yeah.
visible.
So you
Visible,
know.
big time.
And also a
Headphones.
great example of what not to do is when they walk in, don't go, not now. Don't do that.
Like
Don't.
like a sheep, like
Not today. Not today.
Unless you do want to burn it.
Yeah.
Like if you
Unless
want to
you
burn
wanna
it to the
burn it.
ground.
Yeah.
But if you're in a department of 2, it sounds like this teacher is incredibly compassionate.
Yes.
Person, so-
I keep giving that too.
Here's how I see it. They're on this European vacation, spring break. I don't know why. I
Oh,
think
that's a
Europe. Is it
whole
Europe?
other
Oh, they're
part
going to
of
another
this
country.
letter.
So
Yes.
maybe they're going. They could only be going to Canada.
That will be
They could be going. It could be. This could be nearby, and they're driving over the border to Mexico. They could be driving
Either
over
way.
the border to Canada.
Either way. It's
Either
just
way.
them somewhere else.
High school kids. There's got to be other chaperones, right? But let's say so. There's not. It's
You would
just these
think.
two. I think you go. Hey, why don't you come to my room? Let's get liquored up. You know what I mean? You start doing shots, and you go. You got a lot going on.
What kind of drugs do they got in this country?
You got a lot.
Federal
Is this
agent.
pre-chaperone though? Is this pre-trip?
This is on the trip.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm picturing it like an 80s movie. On the trip.
You're still
Get a
in
little
spring break.
sloshed. As soon as she walks in, she'll be like, hi.
Yeah.
We need to talk.
Right. I need to talk to
Hi.
you.
I have to tell you something.
Yeah.
What's
were-
going on with you?
No. What were you gonna say, you goof?
I was just gonna say, get. I don't. Having drinks is probably not the right idea for someone in a fragile state of depression and other
That's
things.
why I was
But
like to peyote,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
let's see what comes out.
But
But
guys,
I think
aren't you?
I
I'm
think
stressed.
you want to do it prior to that trip.
And
However,
say what?
you got to play
100%.
it safe because you don't want that trip. You don't want to be like, no, it's fucking awkward.
I would almost
No.
encourage her to back out.
of the trip.
Yes.
But I'll bet you it's a
Interesting.
department.
You probably have
if
to
the
go.
two of them have to go, I bet you it's whatever. Let's say
They might have
are-
put it
Speak French.
together.
Yeah, they're the French department. It's the French trip. Like they have to go. But 100%, this person has to talk to the other teacher before the trip. Otherwise, she will be the.
And I
mom.
think that there is a right way to say hi and
Hi.
do that too.
Hi.
I mean it though.
Hi.
Like I would say, like if it was you, and I would go, hey, hi, you.
Can I?
I know that we have like this is like a good place for you to come in and you can like vent and let everything out and talk about everything you're going through. What part of my job, this being your first year, is to give you a heads up about things. And I need you to know that when we go on this trip, we are not going to have time for that. And as much as you lean on me here, we need to be much more in lockstep there.
So here's my
I
own-
won't be able to be as good a friend to you as I would like to be. And I think you need to start thinking about the fact that like any stressors you can remove from your life or any hurdles that we can get out that are going to be going into it, because you're going to be a teacher for 24 hours.
But my only thought about what you just said is, if the letter writer says that to the other teacher prior to the trip like that,
Yeah,
then the other teacher goes, okay, cool. But then when we come back from the trip,
true. I know.
so I get it. I get the but I think
to
it's
me,
a-
I would start having anxiety about the person I'm like,
That's- yeah.
she's having panic attacks and crying every day, and now I'm about to be with her 24 hours, and she needs to be
and chaperone children
yes,
in another country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like how do you get in front of that?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to. You have to.
You have
You
to.
got-
But
Gotta
it's
get
going to
in front.
also become, truthfully, like, not to make it worse, but it's like a liability thing. It's like you're responsible for these students. Their parents
Like,
are
what
putting
it-
them in your hands. So
Right.
You can't leave her alone if she has a panic attack.
Unless you get the person to say, please just give me space. And you do that by overly smothering them when they're having a panic attack.
That's what I've
Because
always.
then they realize you're
hey.
I'm just picturing that, like, and the person.
No, I got you. They're like, this isn't helping.
Yeah.
I
And
need
if ever,
space.
if ever you doubted if Daniel was ever a federal agent,
Right there.
doubt no more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no more.
Because you don't learn stuff like that outside of the force.
No, not at all. In the
It is
force.
so
Outside of
tricky,
the
though.
agency.
Because
That's
you
where
don't
you
want
learn
to.
it.
If you see someone having a panic attack, you don't want to abandon them.
Exactly.
But
But
you
you
got
also have to
10
go.
kids,
I
8
can't.
kids,
I'm not
20
responsible
kids.
for every person in the world. That is tricky.
And my thing is this, for anybody who
That
goes, well,
is
what if
tricky.
anybody who's listening go, well, what if she doesn't take up on an idea to go to therapy? I would go, if it continues and you really try to give a soft and caring guiding hand towards therapy, then you eventually have to go, because this is the question too, right? Is when should being supportive, like should colleagues only discuss work or work? You then have to go, hey, let's just call her Lissa. Hey, Lissa, you, no, but you would say,
Listen.
Listen. I care about you. I care about you, but I can't I have all my own stuff.
Yeah.
And it's emotional things and it's work things and it's all mine. And think about how you're feeling. You couldn't handle me putting all that on you. And as much as I care about you, I hope you'd go to therapy. I suggested that to you because it worked for me. It doesn't matter if it's a lie. Although if you do go, everybody listening, it does work.
Love it. Therapy. Big fan.
But as far as work hours go, like you were saying, I just don't have the time to keep doing this. And that's when you get a little bit more face-to-face stern. If you can't do the look over there, and if they don't go towards that, then eventually you do have to go, I care, but I can't.
Every New Yorker on the subway will tell you a good pair of headphones is the best investment. Like you just go I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm listening to this. I'm so sorry. You just, even if nothing's on, you can just
100%.
It's the 100, because she can knock on the classroom door, and you're like, do.
Lissa's chomping at the bit to say, what if the person's name is Daniel?
I had a thought that kind of goes in a different direction about the trip, about going on the trip, and it's a little manipulative, but
I like it already.
But sometimes, and I have felt this way, if I get so caught up in my own stuff, sometimes something that will pull me out of that is needing to help someone, seeing that someone else is in need. So there is a possibility where Miss Honey could talk to this teacher and say, I'm feeling nervous about going on this trip. This isn't something I've done before.
I need you to be there for me.
I'm not sure how to handle all of this. Do you have that? Can you help me?
That's really good.
And then maybe that could take her out of her own anxiety a little bit.
You could at least test it before you go, because then if the other person goes, I'm panicked too, you go, that strategy did not.
Yeah.
Well, you gain some intel.
That's really smart.
You gain some intel.
Half of winning is knowing what doesn't work.
Oh my, that was really good.
Well, he's a former federal agent.
I keep saying
You're
that.
not going to learn that.
I feel like I'm going to get arrested, walking out
You're
of this
not going to get arrested, but you will. It's just an interrogation. Yeah. So you're free to leave whenever you want.
You're free to leave whenever you want. Mike.
Yeah.
No, leave her.
Leave her.
Last thing, right? We got a little bit. Should colleagues only discuss work at work?
That's kind of boring.
The interesting.
Look at this professional environment.
But
Look
we
at
are,
how you guys.
and that's Deirdre. Deirdre, that is exactly what I was going to say. Yes. We are the worst people to ask because
our work is so stupid.
And it also is directly derived from who we are as a person.
Yeah.
And so the bleed over of my work versus my life versus what I want to talk about on stage because of what I'm going through versus what I want to perform or sing about or what I bring to the, even you doing yesterday, your various highs, that, there's a whole thing of we don't have any free will. Right. Everything you say or do or choose is derived from some sort of experience or something in your head. Nothing is purely inspired.
Sure.
So even your choice of the highs and the order in which you did them in some way came about from your emotional state and where you are in life.
Yes.
So for us to go, should colleagues only talk about work at work? In our work, I would say good luck. It's too much of a crossover. All of us have been in a office cube setting at some point or a strictly professional. And I think for that, when I think about myself, I think it's really, if someone's your friend or even if they're just somebody that feels like they can tell you about you guys just work together every day and you share a cube and then one day it's like your office mate's like, I'm going through a divorce. And I imagine in those types of settings, people are like, you would say.
But if you're a fun office guy, you quickly go, wah, wah, wah.
You can go, hi.
Right. Yeah, hi. I think in those settings, maybe it's best to go, do you want to grab a drink after work and talk about,
booze.
You do kind of push it
You put
out.
a social space on it.
Yes. So for me, I couldn't imagine being at work and also not talking about my personal life.
Yes.
But I think in a more strictly professional setting, I think maybe you honor a person's feelings, but that's table them.
That's great advice too. If Miss Honey says to the other teacher, you know what, I can't keep talking to you about this during my prep period, but we can find a time, and then you can just keep rescheduling.
Kicking the ball.
But if you move it
run
towards
away
a
from
social
your problems, I get it.
like a rabbit.
Yeah.
But like if you move it to a social setting, you can also, because I was gonna say I can pull it closer to a teacher thing where I've mostly taught in arts programs, but the whole thing was like, especially on the college level training acting students, you would be saying to them, like, you're talking to them about their lives and or even other colleagues, you're going, that colleague is dealing with whatever, so you're going, oh, I'll cover, like what we pull from even to teach those subjects is more is personalized.
Yes, I completely agree. The crazy thing of all, the shortest answer to this, and we're done, is that honestly, if it only took once, it won't. But if it only took once for you to go, I really think you should think about therapy, like something like BetterHelp or something like that, this probably, I would put more chances likely that it completely solves itself. Wow. Because she would have a place to put those things and get treatment for anxiety and stress and divvying up emotions and when to do it. And it would probably be great. You would still have a teacher who needs help because it's her first year, but no longer help with like, I can't sleep.
Yep.
You know? Okay. Miss Honey, thanks so much for this letter. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Daniel Van Kirk,
Rory Van Scovel,
and Dierdre Friel.
And we're back!
Nailed it.
Where were we?
Fourth intro, nailed it.
Fourth intro, you finally got it. And let's run the song again.
No, is this really?
No.
You do? Okay.
Acapella.
7, 8.
Yeah.
This is where we get our little plugsies in.
What do you got, Rory?
Well, I'm going to be at the Elysian Theater on December 4th doing an hour-long show. The last one I did, Daniel came on stage.
We did an hour of
and we
us doing stand-up and
around.
everything together.
Oh, that's so great.
It was
I'm
really
so mad I
fun.
missed it.
Really fun.
Very fun to do. I don't know if this show will be that or more than that or less than that or I don't know. I don't know what it will be. So if you're in the LA area and you do want to come to that show, it is at Elysian Theater on December 4th, which I think is a Sunday.
Okay.
And
that sounds
so
right.
just come to it and just fucking do that. It could be a Saturday. I don't know.
No,
Go
I
to
think you're right.
ElysianTheater.com and
I have no idea.
dance into the fire.
I know the 15th is a Thursday.
You don't need to yell at me.
It is a Sunday.
Thank you.
Do you have any idea? You don't need to tell it all, but do you have any idea what you want to do with your whatever show on a Sunday?
I don't know, but I also need to start saying this. Babylon is out December 23rd. So go and see it if you
Just about 3 weeks.
want
Just over
to.
3 weeks away.
Just over 3 weeks away, folks. So go see it.
I was helping your wife pick out outfits for that the other
That's
day.
right. That's
She
right.
Sending me pictures.
I don't know
Yeah?
what we're going to wear.
Yeah,
We're going to get all snazzied out.
Snazzed to the
Snazzed.
max.
You don't understand. Well, you're shooting, so you don't really have any stand-up dates.
No.
Me
and Dierdre, we're in the trenches right now.
I don't know if it's announced yet. I don't really care. They can say cut that.
Yep.
But I'm starting a weekly show in LA every Wednesday night at the Lyric Hyperion Theater. So start planning on coming to that. It's going to be at 7:30 on Wednesdays at the Lyric Hyperion. I believe the first show, unless anything changes, is January 18th. That'll be every week, my own stand-up show there. So you can check
Wow,
it
that's
out.
so huge.
Yeah, it'll
That's
be really fun.
awesome.
And everything else is at danielvankirk.com. And it looks like I'm going to be doing Sketchfest the final weekend. On the 4th, I will be there doing stand-up. And on the 5th, I think we're going to do a Dumb People Town to close out the 20th SF Sketchfest. So I'll get a little weekend in San Francisco. And listen, am I forgetting anything at all? You know what I will say? We don't say it enough. Hey, you want to send us a letter? thepenpalspod@gmail.com or care of the Pen Pals Podcast, 5419 Hollywood Boulevard, Suite C, number 121, Los Angeles, California.
90027.
Good job, buddy.
Dierdre, what do you got coming up? Drop some plugs, you know?
We're shooting Physical Season 3 right now. We have some really great new people on the season, which is exciting. I'm shooting with you less so far, which I hate because we had a lot of fun last year.
Well, we were jugglers.
We were jugglers.
Hot tub scene alone.
Oh my God, that was very cold that night. It
I
was really,
I wondered
really
that
challenging.
when I
It was hot
watching it.
and cold
It
at
was-
the same
it
time.
was so
bubbles on,
cold.
bubbles off for sound.
It was so cold, but the water was hot that we were getting out and they'd put us in towels and jackets. But when we'd step back in, it was like pins and needles in our feet. And Rory was like, ha, that's not good. So I was like, are we going to lose limbs?
Yeah, you
because
guys are in some sort of weird like temperature immersion therapy.
It was really intense.
Yeah.
Really intense. But I have I did a movie. Ray Romano wrote, directed, starred in it. It's coming out in the spring.
You play Ray?
I think. I play Ray. I'm Ray. No, I play Ray's little sister. It's Ray's
Great.
the big brother, and Sebastian Maniscalco's the middle brother, and I'm the sister. And Sebastian and I have some really fun head-to-head. He gives me a really hard time. Laurie Metcalf plays his wife.
Come on.
Yeah. So we were just at Tribeca with that this summer, and I think it's out in the spring. Anyway, but it's it's pretty exciting.
What is the title?
Thank you. Somewhere in Queens.
Somewhere
in
Queens.
Queens. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
That's
really.
great.
Yeah, it's really great. It's a good movie. I'm really proud
So
of it.
with physical and everything, have you got to do much more live stuff, like live theater?
I haven't done theater in a couple years. I was just talking with my my team. That sounds so gross,
no.
but I was talking with my team about
you've earned it.
But it's hard to do because it's theater is bigger commitments, months. And
Every day.
Yeah, and so you're I'm committing to this for 3 months or 6 months, you know, and that's hard to do.
Of course.
And there were a couple things that came up for me on our hiatus, but it's the tail end of it would have spilled into, or the beginning of it would have been just before we would have wrapped. So you just need a big chunk of time.
Well, that's why I stay away from theater, because they won't cast me, and it's just a scheduling.
It's a scheduling nightmare.
But they won't cast me.
That's also
I do miss doing live theater though.
okay.
No,
Rory
I'm good.
broke his
Keep going.
mic.
Keep going.
What'd
No, I'm
you
good.
do?
I'm
What's the
good.
matter?
Nothing. Anyways, what's what? Are you,
I've been trying to
so
get-
no
I've
turkey.
been-
You're not into turkey.
I've been trying to get Rory to do a play for almost a year.
You'd be great in a play. We talked about how what's that space in Eagle Rock that we're that would be great to do a play in that space. The Elysian. What the-
You're talking
No.
about
No.
Elysian.
We keep going.
No.
We
What's
keep
that?
going.
Okay,
don't
okay,
stop.
sorry.
We keep going.
We don't
We
stop.
don't
Show
acknowledge it
doesn't stop.
because that behavior gets
It's not
rewarded,
okay,
and then he
it's
does
not
more.
okay,
Oh
and
my
it's
God,
not
Miss
okay.
Honey, take
No,
notes. That's
no.
teaching notes right
Miss
there.
Honey?
He's gonna figure it out.
Anyways,
Don't acknowledge it. No, Deirdre, stay.
I
Stay
want.
here.
I want. It's up to your. It's on your,
You just dropped it on my foot.
I'm fine.
This
You
is
guys are the ones who are having
This is a
problem.
full Mr.
I
Bean
wonder
sketch.
what the
over
You're the
here.
ones that are having an issue.
I wonder
I
what
did this
the
on purpose,
people
and I'm happy this happened.
listening
Honestly, I'm happy this happened.
think is happening.
Hi.
What?
Hi. Hi.
Lissa, just to be clear for the listeners, Lissa is standing. If anyone is like, does Lissa have faith in him? Lissa
No.
is standing.
I don't have faith in you either, but I'm not going to acknowledge
Wait,
it. 'cause
does
you're
this
gonna
happen
figure
a
it out.
lot? I'm
Well, he
never-
dropped a
Sure.
piece that he doesn't realize, and it's to his left hip.
To his
It's in the
left
chair.
hip.
It was this. It was this.
Nope,
I dropped
it was-
twice. I dropped it twice.
I think. Okay.
That's hysterical. This is like a Mr. Bean.
What's going on with you guys? What's going on with y'all?
Do you think you got it?
That's what I want to know.
Do you think you
Y'all.
fixed your mic?
And we're back.
Do you want this left in?
We'll be right. Yes, I want all this left in. This is how real. This is how real it gets.
This is real life.
People are going to
folks.
think that we're doing this to drive more YouTube videos,
You
and
know
I
what I think
don't
happened?
hate it.
You know what I think happened? And this is not. I'm not this kind of person. I think Chad set this up.
Oh yeah.
I think Chad wanted this to happen. And I think he.
Okay.
Look at that. Oh,
Chad
what's
is,
up? What's up?
Chad
That
is
is
like
one of his
furiously
moves.
pursing his lips, shaking his head at you guys. Just
I
really
know.
angry.
All right.
Okay.
Let's.
Hey,
He comes
Oh,
across.
but I did lose
mild
the
mannered.
letter. Just kidding. There it is.
Eh.
Whoa. Coming at you.
Oh my God, Rory.
All right, I got it. I'm good to go. Do you see that? Did you see that?
That was amazing.
you're like a goddamn jungle gym today.
Thank you. I think that's a compliment.
I thought so.
Oh my God.
Dear
Wait, where can
gentlemen,
people follow you?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you want them to? You can
Yeah.
say no.
what's your home address?
People can follow me home. On Instagram, I'm Dierdre Friel. On Twitter, which I don't know if I'll still be on Twitter for a long time, but
Why? What happened?
She's on Parlor.
I don't know. Part of yeah,
I'm just more Parler.
I'm on a truth tape.
I'm just
so
more
I'm
truth.
retruthing things.
I'm just more truth.
I don't know. Don't you? I was talking about this with someone the other day. I'm watching the ship go down.
I know. We are.
It is kind of like it's.
You
You,
want
know
it to
why?
go
Because
down,
we're a
don't you?
reality TV country. I'm like,
It should go down.
you know.
All the ships, I think, should start going.
The crazy thing is,
And let's start over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we
And then let's regulate
just
it.
Tyler Durden it. Blow up all the credit card
I'm
companies.
in.
as a resource,
Yeah.
there's a lot of goodness in it. As
Now.
well, I would say for the past few years,
Yeah,
even.
but not where
Yeah.
it's going.
Right. But as a like a societal interactive platform, it's very negative.
Yes.
So it's
horrible.
these two things. Like you can go on Twitter and literally find out why there's cops in your neighborhood, or like is there an accident on the 101, or ways in which you can help with a certain cause. But then you can also sit on there and be made to feel like everything's horrible and you're horrible, and it's
my
like
God.
it's such an odd. But it's just
try
going
having
down.
like, especially like when you're doing a project or you're doing something, and then your name comes, like your hashtag, your name comes up, or someone tagged you on something, and it's like. People can say, "Oh my God, she's my favorite actress," or "Oh my God, she's terrible," or "I hate her," or whatever. And
That's
I'm
not
like,
what
"What
I
did
meant
I
when
do?"
I wrote that. But
I get it.
What did you
now
mean?
I get
but
it.
you're totally right.
Yeah,
you're
but
totally
you don't
right.
know. Like it's just like stuff comes at you in a way that nobody would say to your face. No one will come up.
That's the other thing too.
No one will come up to you.
Oh,
and
some
go,
of the
"You're
comments I get
terrible."
on even just Instagram. There's some you make a joke on Instagram and you get some comments from your fans who like get it and they know how to be funny and like
Yeah.
then you get some people who are like, well, how about I do the same exact joke, my version of it in a comment, and then you get other people that are just like so weirdly
Mad.
Angry, yeah.
and they're angry and you're like so weirdly like with the weirdest response, and you're just so baffled by it.
Yeah, you're like, what
And
happened?
it's a great like microscopic look into the psyche of others. I don't think a lot of people realize how on their sleeve they wear their insecurity.
Yeah.
And I think they're unaware that the way they talk is that. And I think they're like, "Wait, man, I'm mad at you because I didn't like this thing you wrote." And I'm not even talking about an opinion. I'm not even talking about an opinion.
Right.
I'm talking about a joke. And I'm not even talking about edgy.
But
I'm not even talking about offensive. I'm literally talking about someone going, "This is dumb." Like,
You and I have talked about this a bit of like, I think, because this is why I was like, I'm always blown away by people who do stand-up comedy. It's like when I
because
do
we're geniuses.
A and B, when
narcissists.
I'm funny. I'm a funny actress, but I'm in a character. I'm always coming through the lens of like, oh, this is why this is funny because Greta would be really anxious here, or this is like. But you guys are standing up there and going, "Hi, I'm Daniel Van Kirk." Hi. And you're going, "I'm Daniel Van Kirk."
I like that last one.
Yeah, the last one.
And,
Hi.
and so you're presenting a joke like it's your opinion.
Yeah.
But it might,
Yeah.
and you and I were talking about this
you
a
can't
lot.
hide behind it.
It might not
character.
be. You might just be making a joke. But
Yeah.
as the audience, I'm going, "You're Rory Scovel," and you're saying that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
someone's going, "Oh, well, she's Dierdre Friel, but she's playing like
Yeah.
it's coming from a different angle."
You do
It's
have
hard.
to get to a place of I don't, how people react to a thing. You have to just be so confidently yourself that even
amazing.
when you are pushing the envelope or you are going to say something that is, if people don't know you, you don't know how they're going to
stand up
respond.
when you were like, "I'm going to get a threesome today."
Yeah.
Like you did this
Yeah.
whole thing. And I
You
was
just
like,
have to not
"Whoa."
care.
Yeah.
You got to be like, I don't care. And if some people are like, I don't think you should say stuff like that, you go, I didn't ask you. I don't care.
I don't
and if people
care.
go, I'm going to tell everyone not to follow you, you have to go, I don't care. If literally person that goes, it says, I'm going to go on a campaign to make sure no one buys your stuff and everyone hates you, you have to legit just go, I don't care. And that's just how it has to be. And you have to look and go,
so
yeah,
amazing.
like that. You might see what you think you see, but I know who I am and I know what I'm doing and I know what I think. And if you see me kind of always doing this thing or always talking about this one subject or always, then maybe that is who I am. But also, there are plenty of people that are nice, good people who make jokes that are, they're slightly not okay. But there's a lot of times I don't look at it and go, I think that's them. I look at it and go, nah, I think that maybe is the joke.
Yeah.
And,
Not a great joke,
Well,
or-
you live and die by it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think it always means that it's who you are. I think who you are is what you're consistently and constantly doing, is what I think.
I don't disagree with that. That's
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's I just think it's the more I've worked now, there's so many more comics doing TV and film, and so
Yeah.
I'm always blown away by you guys talking about how you do what you do.
Yeah.
People have so many times said to me, you should do stand up, and I'm like, no, I am not brave.
You
I
would
have
be able to do it.
No idea who I am.
You would be
Not
able to do it.
confident. You think
Oh,
so,
I
really?
would think
Yes.
I would think the same.
Yes.
Oh my God. Thank you.
You just
I'm
have to
so, I'm so honored.
But you
You have to
still
be-
have to,
first
you still
off-
have to have enough of the disease to want to or think
Yeah.
you should.
Yeah.
Right? That's a whole other. That has
Yeah.
nothing to do with being funny.
The
fact
confidence
the
to go,
fact that
people
you
wanna-
think I'm the only one with a mic because what I'm say is going to resonate with all of you who spent money on an Uber and a babysitter and drinks and it's going to be worth it. And none of that has anything to do with being funny. That's just delusion.
Yeah.
He has it. I have it. Every
Hi!
stand-up comic has it. Right?
That's like, just so you know what to expect on that Sunday. It was just an
You
hour
turn
of
to look
Rory
at me?
saying hi.
You could do it.
You do have to be wildly delusional.
That's
But you
incredible.
can command a stage, and that's where you have to start.
that's-
You have to learn how to do that first.
Command.
You already know how to do that. The funniness comes from experience.
So, can't wait to see
There's
it.
a lot of people like start out
Rory's
like,
show.
I'm going to be a comedian. It's like, great, but how can anyone be good on your first time? So many obvious sex jokes.
I
right
really
there.
want
I
that,
know,
want
I know,
that
I
mic
know,
to
I know.
fall so badly.
It's
and
going
not.
to.
Dude, it will not.
Yeah, because
You
you
guys
every
don't
time you
believe
grab
in
it, you
me.
twist it. See?
No one believes in me.
You don't understand. You unwind it a little bit each time.
That's what I'm laughing at. Every time I'm going, I'm waiting for you to go. No.
You're like my own little Sisyphus. Okay.
Sisyphus. That's good. That's a good reference.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Pushing the.
It's okay.
Trying to drink
Dear
with it.
gentlemen, I am a from the beginning listener and first time writer. I forget which hashtag I fall under due to your longevity of podcast inception of said hashtags. My affinity falls slightly toward Daniel.
Hey,
However,
you pick this.
however, due to the Princeton flea market, which I grew up going to and may have crossed paths unknowingly, and my family has a cabin near his. Not
Whoa.
stalking, just I always respect his appreciation of the area and lifestyle. Last connection, you both are 22 days older than
That's
I.
impossible.
Exactly. I am 22 days older than you probably.
No.
You were 23
Which
days.
one do you think he's going off of? Okay.
He was born at
Well, 'cause
midnight
we're a day
in
apart.
between. I have figured that out.
Yeah.
My question is, have you ever not liked your name? My first name is Paul, which growing up wasn't the most common name for my age group. It's biblical and historic, which I assume
YouTube viewer moment just happened.
was my parents' main thought. The kicker is my middle name is Gustav. I hated it as a child and teens in the early 30s. I hated it as a
Hold on,
child
Rory.
and teen in the early 30s.
We were being silly and overacted you. Can you start from my first name?
I'm sorry. No, I heard it.
I did
I heard
it,
it. Oh,
not you.
Okay, I heard it.
My first name is Paul, which growing up wasn't the most common name for my age group. It's biblical and historic, which I assume was my parents' main thought. The kicker is my middle name is Gustav. I hated it as a child and teen in the early 90s, mainly because it was unusual. I was named after my paternal great-grandfather who led a blue-collar life working at Master Lock in Milwaukee. I now believe the cabin stuff. In my later teens and 20s, I embraced and cherished it, and still to this day. History and family. My sister gave one of my triplet nephews the name as his middle. It's unusual, but embracing it made the person who I am today. I'd love your perspective on the thought, and I sincerely appreciate your podcast. Your sincere friend, Paul Gustav.
Paul, I just want to say I reacted the first time I heard your middle name, and I don't want you to think I just was sympathizing with. It's an unusual,
unique name.
It's a unique name.
Why do you hate Paul
and
Gustav?
It's a unique name in America. It's
You
not
hate
in
Sure,
other
yes, of
countries.
course, yes.
And I have a name that's a unique name in America too. So I was just like, when I heard it, I was like, I understand. So
Well, I thought you
wanted
actually-
to
'cause
clarify my
it's-
facial expression in case.
But it's Dierdre Gustav.
It's Dierdre Gustav Van Kirk.
Van Kirk.
Guess
Ooh.
what? We have an announcement.
Oh!
My boyfriend's
siblings.
My boyfriend's
And we're getting married!
Stop us, world!
Try to stop love.
Guess what the letter is next week? Hey, babe.
Gustav is, that's an interesting
Willy
middle
Wonka.
name. I'll
Most
tell you right
popular
there.
Gustav.
Augustus Gloop. That's what I
That's
think
what
it is.
it is,
I
yeah.
thought of
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
immediately
yeah.
what I thought of
Yeah.
first, but it's Augustus.
Can I, man, Willy Wonka, right at the end there, did he need to yell like that at them?
Well, he was killing all those kids throughout the whole movie.
yes, but also did he need to
You
yell
get
at
nothing.
them? Good day, sir!
Yes.
Like, if you're Grandpa Joe, you got to be like, I'll fuck you up, Willie. I will fuck you up. You're going to talk to my grandkid
I
like
got
that.
out of this bed and I will.
Yeah,
fuck
You
he's
think
been-
I'm not going to fucking kill
He's
you?
been walking for a day. You think he's ready to fight?
Yes!
Yes,
He's been
100%.
pinned. That's all pent up anger.
don't know,
Willy
he's got the
Wonka's going
muscle.
to talk to my grandkid like that? Toe-headed freak over here. You're going to fucking talk to Charlie like that?
But Charlie knew. But Charlie knew he stole.
Wow, that is such a really strong opinion about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, buddy. Like you had that one in the pinball machine, like ready to rip. That was nuts.
Have you ever seen, there's a picture, and I have no idea how accurate it is. There's a picture of Charlie. It's a little close up, and his teeth are fucked
Jacked.
up
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
person. The meme is
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know that this dude needs more candy. And I was like, I have no idea if this is Photoshop, but if those are his legit teeth, this meme is a genuine thought. This is real.
a cry for help.
This is
not a
actually,
meme.
the filmmakers should have thought this.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I love that scene because it speaks to Gene Wilder's. There's always seemed to be an edge, like a darkness
Yes.
to A lot of his characters, but especially the Willy Wonka, where it felt like it could turn. And when it fully does, and the mask of like is off of like I'm a diabolical, and I have a lot of anger and all of those things. I love it.
Do you know the famous story about the first scene with the cane, right?
Yes.
Right?
He just did that, right?
Well, he insisted he wouldn't take the part unless they let him come in that way, because he said if he does the cane and then he does this flip, he goes, from that moment on, nobody will ever know if I'm telling the truth or not. And so I think it plays to that. Gene Wilder, top notch, man.
Side story about Diane, my mother.
Okay.
If you say to her, we come from a big family of criers. If you say to her, you just make her rethink about the line, do you know what happened to the boy who got
Oh my God, I'm going to cry. As you're saying this, I literally was like,
I could too.
Why does that make you cry?
Your eyes are watering. His eyes are
Why does it make you cry?
Do you know what happened to the boy who got everything he ever wanted?
What?
Lived happily ever after.
Yeah, so why does that make you cry?
It's really touching, Rory.
But in what way?
Warm up your icy heart.
Look at her.
Yeah, Lyssa's. Rory's the only one in
Chad and
Lissa
Rory,
hasn't
ice
even
cold.
seen the movie. She told me that earlier. I'd never seen it.
Weird, you guys are
How
talking about
powerful is this line?
Let's see. 3 out of 5 people are crying at it. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Chad and I, we're
Stone
realists.
Chad's saying
Why does it make you cry though? Like, what about it?
it's so.
I have these moments
touching.
as well. That one has never struck me.
It's also the delivery. It's also Gene Wilder, because he was so.
He's also the boy.
Folks, we'll be right back after these messages. Do you have trouble paying for your car? Something that's
Let me tell you about Raycon
Tostitos.
earbuds. But he's
What are
also
you
the
doing
boy.
for Thanksgiving? Turkey, like a big old lame-o?
If there was ever an episode you listen to and watch, this is probably it.
Oh my God, I'm literally sweating.
Because that's what he wanted, was to give it away.
To give it away.
He was the boy who got everything he ever wanted.
It's the only thing. Once you have everything you want, the only thing you can do is give it away. Guess what, Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Guess what, Jeff Bezos?
You know what they
Bezos
cut out?
announced- did you hear
you guys know
124
what? Do you guys
billion.
know about what was cut out? So Gene Wilder says, "Do you know what happened to the boy who got
I
everything
already
he
know
ever
this is a lie. Go ahead.
Do you want? Do you know? Do you know what happened to the boy who got everything he ever wanted? He lived happy ever after." And Charlie goes, "I've been eating one meal a week for years." And there was just this long pause,
Awkward pause.
and then
As they
and then
spun
Willy
around.
Wonka just goes, "But yeah, it can go any direction."
Look at the Thames.
Rory.
Don't pound. We're going to get letters about that. Look at what he did to himself.
Rory, I don't feel good.
Look at what
I
he-
actually don't feel good from that joke.
One.
No,
No,
I
and
eat
then-
one meal a week, so
No,
I can't
Roy.
relate to your. I can't relate to your bougie.
Roy,
I have 4 grandparents in a bed in my living
Yeah, my
room.
grandparents share a bed, and me and my parents, we don't even sleep, really.
no, Roy, it's that thing where someone's so uncomfortable they just repeat the last thing that was said to them after like quiet for a while. He's like, one meal a week, huh? just says it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
1877
No,
cars.
don't you dare. We're going to lose listeners on
Yeah.
that.
Well, I've had one meal, ate one meal a week, and long pause, and then Willy Wonka's like, Willy Wonka just goes, "I murdered those kids today. I murdered them. I knew they would die.
Confession
I
time.
knew they would die."
And he goes,
Grandpa Joe reveals some dark secrets from the Korean War. Like,
Right.
it just all goes way downhill.
I killed my own men.
Camera pans to Grandpa Joe. He looks right down the barrel and he goes, "I thought I was off camera. I'm sorry. I did not know you were going to." He puts the cigarette out real quick.
Well, anyway, Paul Gustav.
Anyways,
Wonka.
Paul Gustav.
He goes, well, now I get why you wanted that food that was never going to end.
By the way, I just want to point out, this is why Paul Gustav hates his name, because we've all just gone on an
Sidetrack.
hour
Well,
tangent
but
about
also,
Augustus Gloop.
one
No,
time-
Paul knows the
One
deal.
time mid-letter,
Sorry,
we talked
Paul.
for 20 minutes and realized we hadn't finished the letter. So this is par. We're par for
We
the
sort of
course.
did that with High.
Yeah.
It was like that, but 20 minutes.
Some would say
of
we
that.
still are. Okay. Do you like your name?
I do now.
You did not?
It's hard. First of all, perfect
course,
example
yes,
is this
yep.
podcast. You're like Dierdre. You know, like
Yes.
people do it all the time. I used to never correct people on how to say my name.
Yep.
It's Dierdre, and I've like come up with a little mnemonic like Dierdre. How are you?
Yep.
But I would just not say anything about it. And I was studying in London for a little while.
Brag.
And all the teachers were like, Dierdre. And I knew they were talking to me. Yeah. like in the middle of like the 6th week, my best friend stood up and he was like, Deirdre, your name is Deirdre. Why don't you tell anyone how to say your name? And I was like, okay, so like, he's like, you just never, and everyone just calls you something like Donna, Deborah.
Yeah.
Couple of
And
D's
I'm like,
in there with an E.
Do you know what I
sign.
picture for your name?
What?
When you say that you have like a thing where you
Yeah,
go,
like-
Deirdre.
Yeah.
I picture saying Dr. Dre as one word. And I go, Deirdre.
So
Deirdre.
on a call sheet one time,
Deirdre. And I go, Deirdre. It just helps me know whether
Deirdre.
there's an R, because Deidre, you're like, oh, the R would be after. But Dr. Dre makes me go, the R is before that second D.
I was doing a tech
Deirdre.
one time I was doing Sister Act, and they wrote on the call sheet Dre.
Yeah.
And so for the rest of the thing, I was like, everyone calls me Dre from now.
Really?
I am not cool.
Yeah.
I'm not thug.
Do you
I'm
remember
not
though?
anything
But
awesome.
that is coming
Dre.
from a place of confidence, right? Like even at that level, you were like, "Fine, Dre, I'm owning it," right?
Yeah.
Was there an age in which it would have hurt or gone the other way, and do you know when that turned for you, or did it never need to turn? You just kind of always rolled.
I think it turned. I think it turned when my confidence turned. Like middle school was like, I mean, it was not a miserable time. I was like frizzy hair and acne and braces and like. So then on compounding it with anything that someone could get at you with, it's like, oh God, now it's my name. Like, you know, it's like, you're like, everything's
trying to
like,
lay low. You're
trying
dodging
to lay low.
bullets.
You're trying to wear whatever hypercolor shirts and
Yes.
Z Cavarici pants and just
Yeah.
trying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be fit in.
Yeah.
And I just really dated myself. And then, but then as I got
You
older,
dated yourself in middle school.
And that's
yeah.
how you knew.
I bet that now that's got to be tough.
it was 3 months. Yeah, we didn't get along. Hi. But yeah, then I got older and I was like, you know, but it's still weird. It's like now because we're all in these professions where like your name comes front and like is out there. It's, you know, it's hard. It's weird. It's like when people interview you or like, you know, you're on KTLA Utah or something and then they're like, Dierdre. And I'm like, well, that was live.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah.
How are you?
Did you ever have Rory is also unique, and did you ever have any sort of like, I hate my name, or people giving you shit for your name?
No,
or?
I have always had a lot of pride in it.
Yeah.
Loved that it was unique my whole life in school. People would say Roy. They'd be like, wrong, I can't say it. And I was always like, thought that was so weird. I was like, Roar.
I've run into that.
E.
I've run into that to
Roar.
this day.
Rory?
More often in the South of people being like, they'll talk after a show or whatever,
right, yeah,
and they're like, Rory.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It seems so strange to not be able to say it.
yeah.
Is it in places where like they have that soft R?
I think so, yeah.
And so it's like,
Soft R.
yeah, it's the soft R thing.
Yeah.
With
Wait,
the
Oi.
British.
My name is really
The,
Oi.
the British.
Oi.
Roy.
Yeah, so
Roy.
Roy, I get Corey a lot. I mean, I say this in my my improvised album that's available for streaming on streaming platforms for listening. But I talk about how there was a soccer coach who called me Corey, and I did not correct him day one, and then never corrected him. His son was on the team, and
his son's name was
down
Rory.
down the line, he found out my name was Rory, and he could not believe that I had just put up with Corey for the amount of. He was like, "Why did you turn to tell me?" And even I was like, like I grew up just fearful of adults.
I imagine.
Like never talk to them the way my
Catholic,
daughter
right?
talks to adults. I was just always like, "You're an adult, and I'm terrified of you and your authority." So I would have never been like, "It's Rory." I would have been like, "Corey, is that what you want? Great."
Yes. Is that what my new name is here at this place?
Yeah, Corey, am I fitting into this
How many-
Christian society the way I've been taught to?
You're 17 years into stand-up?
Now, yeah, 17, 18, yeah, something like
Okay.
So amazing.
18.
It's great. I'm
That's amazing.
6.
6 months. Prodigy. They call him the Proj. We go, who's on tonight? We go, the Proj.
Proj.
Proj is popping by.
So
How many
it's
times
probably-
you done it? This is his third time doing stand-up.
It's probably been a long
Sold out
time.
room.
Yeah.
It's probably been a long time, but how would you deal with it if someone brought you up saying your name wrong?
It happens.
I know, and how do you? Well, when
Oh,
is your
but I mean,
feeling
for the kind of stand-up that I like and the kind of comedy I like, where it's all
Well, that's
meant to be
probably
so
a
silly,
gift.
That's
That's
what I
a
mean.
gift.
It's a gift.
Yeah, yeah,
Getting
yeah,
my
yeah.
name wrong is an absolute.
But if you had an opener and
gift.
by
I have there's
three
no
of
part
5
me-
shows they were still doing it, what are you saying to them?
Oh, I would eventually just go, I don't know if you're doing a bit. I would say if you are doing a bit, it's fine. I don't care. That would be so crazy that something
I would
like
say
that
if you are doing a bit, I
But-
think we've done it enough.
Well, here's the thing. I would
By the
just
third
go.
show,
Here's how that situation. Here's how that scenario occurs. They screw up my name the first time. I riff on it, then that goes well. This is all hypothetical.
Yeah.
And so they are like, I'm passing you the ball each show.
Yeah. Oh,
I would just go to them and I go, and I honestly, I understand that you're coming from a place of, I'm trying to set you up because it worked that first time. And I would just have to say, that doesn't excite me. And I would just go, even if you're doing it as a bit and you are trying to like help me out, truly nothing negative about it. I would just go, oh, I liked it that first time because I didn't expect it. I go, but now I'm in a place of having to just repeat myself, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I feel weird about repeating myself in that thing. I don't like manufactured spontaneity. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what's interesting though, because you were saying, when did it turn for me? I think when I realized I was funny, or when I could be funny, then all of a sudden it was like,
you can change.
You have a way of owning it.
Well, then nothing anyone throws at you has to be like something you have to receive. You can go, ba-ba. I can hit the ball back.
Yes.
If you're not funny and you can't receive it, that's your problem.
Then it's on them.
But like, and I don't think I'm ever mean, or I've ever been, I mean, I'm sure in my life I have, but like that's not my sense.
I know that you have.
Correct. Sorry. Actually, let me correct myself. I'm horrible. No, but my sense of humor isn't
So
like pointed. It's just not my way.
Yeah.
But I think that was it. Was when I was like, oh, if I can be funny about X or Y, then it's like nothing has to come at me. Right.
So,
in that way.
We've touched on this, or maybe even someone talked about it, but like I changed my name. So so I was born
Rory.
Right.
And we were like, this is not going to work for the show.
and we
Rory
tossed a
Van
coin.
Kirk, and I go, come on. The two Rorys.
Wait, what
A
birthday
podcast
were
that
they
writes
apart?
itself? Come on, we can't do that.
What was your birth name?
Daniel
Yeah.
Christopher Nall.
Null. N-A-A-L?
And so I changed my name to Daniel Robert Van Kirk. So for me, it was a thing I didn't really realize until I did it, how much I felt and identified as a Van Kirk because of my mom's family and her maiden name. Like that is really responsible. Like that's who raised me. My aunt and uncle, her sister and brother-in-law lived next door. My grandpa is the not the longest, but in many ways the best father figure I've ever had. And his name was Robert. And obviously also his last name was Van Kirk. So that I technically adopted it, but I felt like I changed into that's what I am. Like
you had it legally changed.
100%.
I might do that
too.
I like that
made
name.
Me want to cry.
Oh, thanks. It's a big deal for me too.
It's really beautiful.
And so there's two sides to that. One is adopting that name, and then the other one is also going, this is what it was, and I'm not fearful or insecure about that, so I don't care that you know that it was Christopher Nall, because it's irrelevant to what does matter, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing to it as well is, and this is something I have a like.
I could break this down quicker. Garth Brooks, you know how he had the other thing?
Mm-hmm.
Daniel loved him so much. Daniel's like, I'm going to have two
double life.
lives.
Yes.
Do you wear the black hat in the one life, or just
on Saturdays?
It depends on which bar I'm going to frequent.
The other one is Dan versus Daniel.
Oh, not a Dan. You're not a Dan fan.
I am a Dan to the people I say that to. Like, call me Dan.
Dan.
If it is in any sort of professional context, or you do not know me, let's say you're the person who's the manager at the club and I show up, it should be Daniel. It should be Daniel on a marquee. It is Daniel in any professional context. And even in some ways, I would say I do prefer it in this chapter of my life.
You're saying I didn't open that door to you. That is a different door. Like I am Daniel. That's my professional name.
Right.
Dan that's another level of friendship. That's intimate.
I don't know that this is the clearest way to put it, but the way I always think of is it's the Late Show with David Letterman. But anyone who seemed friendly with him would call him Dave. And I for the fucking life of me, I cannot get it defined I can't control it when people go, like I just did a show in a big city, and it was a nice, legitimate venue, and the marquee said Dan Van Kirk. And I have no fucking idea how. Because if you go to my website or you follow me on any social media, or you look at anything professional I've been credited as, it's Daniel. And I understand and that's okay, right? This is what we do on the show.
To save the letters.
I'm opening up. We don't have an IEL.
There is a
what do
chance.
you want?
The
Right?
next
There
guy
is a chance.
was Nathaniel Annual Manual, and they ran out of all the IELs, and they.
I don't get it.
Do you feel
I
like
overdo it. That's why Daniel Vaniel Caniel came out of nowhere. It didn't come out of nowhere.
Do you call him Dan or Daniel?
That's how people ask, "What is our relationship?" I've never been invited to call
to
him
the Dan. You're not in the
so
Dan.
full
You're
of
not in
shit.
Dan land.
He actually makes me call him Mr. Daniel.
You want?
Sir Daniel Van Kirketh, if you
I'm
will.
a lord, actually. So see,
We're both lords.
Do
We own
you-
property in Scotland.
I'll give you some real life. This motherfucker's he's close to Danny level if he really wanted to be.
Aw, my dad's
Yes,
my dad's
but when
Daniel.
I say it, then he calls me this motherfucker.
And that's how we show love in our family.
100%. 100%.
I'm like, "Hey, Danny," and he goes, "Motherfucker," and I'm like, "Well, I don't want that.
I'm Rory.
I don't want that
I'm
ping
gonna
pong
stick
ball
with the
hit
Rory.
back at me."
But even the people that are of that level don't call me that. The family still to this day. But I have people in my life that like, yeah, I would never go, what the fuck? But yeah, it's a name thing, and I prefer Daniel to the point where someone would go, if we had all just met and he was like, "Hey, this is Dan," and I go, "Nice to meet you, Daniel." It is already loaded in the barrel. That is what I was going to say. I'm not going to change it. And it does throw some people off, but it's like, I don't know. Lissa's heard me bitch about this so much. I don't know.
She texts me about it.
It's all. You guys should
She'll
call
be
me
like,
out.
"Guess." She go back, "Guess who's
I feel
off?
vulnerable
Guess
talking
who's
about
off
this.
it again?"
Melissa, Chad, and Rory have a private text thread
You can
called
call me out.
Not Dan. Not Dan.
Yeah.
But I'm almost. Is this make me a douchebag? I'm almost
No.
like to say. I would say to Lissa, if you talk to other people about me, it's Daniel. If you're talking to me, Dan is fine. Is that?
No, but you know what's really interesting? To circle all the way back early.
Let's do it. Hi.
You were hi.
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 Don't get me started if you don't want me to finish.
You're gonna tell me to go to therapy?
I'm going to tell you that you are the one who
You
said
have
on the
problems.
first day of work, don't make friends. And you have a whole Daniel thing. Like you have a thing that's like, I am Daniel. We're not buds
You
yet.
can
like
call it a wall.
it's not I don't think it's a wall. I think, but it's like
A see-through wall.
You're like, I don't know. Like I don't know you. And
Yes.
and Dan, like my dad.
It also is a great way
Danny.
for me to signify we are working together.
Yes,
right?
It's the professional. It's the professional thing.
Yes. And in the world in which we live in, and I don't fault the parasocial relationships, a lot of people can listen to us in their ears, and hopefully if we do a good job, we resonate with them and seem like the type of people they'd want to be friends with, and they would feel an affinity to me, to, if that's the right word, I don't know if it is, but to be like, oh, I feel like if I ever meet him, I can call him Dan. And I don't want to be rude, but it's like,
You don't know this because I've never told you, but I have people call me Daniel as well.
I would love it. It might help.
My name's Rory.
They go Rory and I go,
but I like
it's Daniel to you.
my professional name is Rory Scovel, but my close name, my friends
If you're
call me
close to
Daniel.
me, it's Rory, but if you're not, it's also Daniel.
But I always think this, and then we'll get out. I have one last thing, and we'll get out. Well, I know we ran over. Yeah, I always say this too. If you didn't care, you wouldn't care. So, but it's like,
What do you mean?
who the fuck?
Hey, it doesn't mean anything.
It does matter. I want to understand. I really love.
If I didn't
understanding
care
this.
that it said Dan Van Kirk on the marquee, then I wouldn't care, and I'd still go do a great show. And I'm not a fucking household name. It's not like I'm being introduced to the world, and now shit, they said Dan. It's
Yeah.
one fucking marquee
Yeah.
on a city on one night.
Yeah.
It's not that big. of a deal.
Tuscaloosa.
It's weird because we're
He said
very
big city,
introspective
but
as
he was
artists
lying.
to be
It was
self-aware and
Tuscaloosa.
also insecure at the same time.
But I noted, got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I do the same thing.
Okay, last thing, really quick.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you
yes,
better hurry
we-
it up. You
I'm
better
sorry.
hurry it up,
I'm
dude.
sorry. I know. I'm sorry. Here's what it is. Dear gentlemen, this is what the letter said. I am a quote from the beginning listener and first time writer. I forget the hashtag I fall under due to the longevity. I do not think there is one. There is a Penny if you've listened but haven't heard every episode. There's a Paler if you've listened to every single episode, and there is a Petrino. Patroni if you've listened to every
Patroni.
episode and all the Patreon episodes. But
Yeah.
to say, there is no term for someone who goes, I've been listening to the beginning, and here's my first letter.
We could come up with one.
We don't have to, but we could also leave it out.
We have 3 years.
It's a Rory.
We have 3 years to sort that out.
Right.
We don't have to do that right now.
I know. But just so this person
We
knows.
literally have.
I think you should drop.
We literally have
Gustav.
over
Gustav.
1,000 days to
drop
figure it out.
balloons and
Gustav.
pop one, and it's a Gustav.
Paul Gustav.
It's a Gustav. Why don't you make it a Gustav?
Gustav,
make it after him.
PG.
Take the name and all right, we'll talk. Never mind. Cut that.
No,
bit
I
out.
just don't know. Because then what if he's like, "That's what you took away from my letter"?
Oh,
I don't know.
God, I'm sorry.
Paul,
I-
No,
Paul
no, you're not
Gustav.
doing it.
I'm
Edit
gonna.
the shit
we're
out of this.
spitballing
I just
over
want to say
here.
this is a great letter. Thank you so much,
Don't you
Paul,
worry,
for
you're a
writing
delight.
You're a
in.
delight.
We love your name. And,
I love it.
I
We
do
all
too.
love our names.
I really do.
From
And I love that you said that when you did embrace it, it like made you the person that you
Yeah.
are. I think that's really great.
Yeah.
sincerely, your pen pals, Danny Scovel.
Rory Friel.
Oh,
Who are you gonna be?
Rory Van Kirk.
Rory.
It all works.
If you want to be my friend,
You better
go and get a pen.
And maybe we can keep
We'll
it.
feed you. We'll feed you. It'll be like church
We'll
style.
feed you.
And I just make it up.
I'll be in your ear. We'll be in your ear the
You
whole
want
time.
a scat? You let us know.
Scoop
I'll be in your
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
left ear. He'll be in your right ear. We'll be saying different stuff at the same time, and you just try to sing it.
Ready? Hit it. Yeah.
It'll be super easy.